And today's broadcast is one that I'm sure is going to raise some eyebrows as we dive into a few critical events shaping our world right now. We're going to unpack a chilling warning from Russian President Vladimir Putin, the alarming rise in beef prices due to dwindling cattle inventories, and the role that the silver has played is poised to play in what could be the next global financial shakeup. Let's begin with a statement that echoed across the globe recently. Our future generations, quote unquote, from President Putin, our future generations will be born without the Rothschilds' chains around their wrists and ankles. These words came directly from Putin, and they're sent ripples throughout the global financial community. What exactly is Putin talking about? Well, he's targeting the Rothschild banking family, which has been a focal point for conspiracy theorists and critics of the global banking system for centuries. The Rothschilds are often painted as the puppet masters behind the world's financial systems, and more importantly, they're frequently associated with the broader financial architecture that some believe represents the New World Order. I'm included. Now, Putin's statement about freeing Russia from the so-called chain symbolizes the country's push for financial independence. His words suggest a departure from the traditional banking system that has long been dominated by Western powers and their influence. Putin is painting a picture of a future where his country no longer succumbs to the control of this global banking elite, something he sees as a form of liberation for his people. The icy grip of the Rothschild banking cartel, as Putin called it, seems to be the financial system that has enslaved nations globally for generations. The idea of breaking free from the New World Order cabal is gaining traction, especially in countries looking for alternatives to the US dollar and the financial system it supports. But let's pause here and ask a very important question. Is there a financial event coming that could shake the world to its core? Well, if we're being honest, there are signs of a major financial event on the horizon. It may not be clear exactly when or how it will unfold, but the indicators certainly are there. One of the most alarming facts is a drastic drop in U.S. cattle inventory, which is driving beef prices to sky-high levels. We've seen beef prices surge to all-time highs, a direct result of shortages in the supply chain. Why does this matter in a broader economic picture? Well, when you have disruptions in basic commodities like food, especially something as fundamental as beef, you're looking at a ripple effect throughout the entire global economy. These price hikes not only affect consumer spending, but can exacerbate inflation and create even more pressure on central banks that are already struggling with rising interest rates. This is one piece of the puzzle that's beginning to form, and that's one that could lead to a larger financial crisis. Now you might be wondering, how does silver fit into all this? Silver plays a crucial role in times of financial upheavals. Unlike fiat currencies, which are heavily influenced by central banks and governments, silver is tangible. A valuable asset has stood the test of time. Throughout history, silver has been a reliable store of wealth, and it provides an escape for investors when markets become volatile or when inflation soars. As global instability rises, the demand for precious metals, especially silver, tends to increase. Investors flock to silver as a hedge against economic collapse or inflationary pressures. With financial systems teetering and prices for essential goods like beef climbing, people are seeking safe havens for their wealth. What's interesting about silver is its dual role as both a commodity and a currency. While the value of the US dollar and other fiat currencies may fluctuate due to supply chain disruptions, political instability, and inflation, silver has the rare ability to hold its value in times of crisis. And let's not forget that silver has one other important role in the world of technology and industry. Its use in electronics, solar panels, and various electronic and industrial applications makes it a highly sought after resource. As global demand for technology and renewable energy grows, so too will the demand for silver, which gives it a unique advantage in times of financial uncertainty. Silver's ultimate highest and best use, let's remember that term, highest and best use, is that of money, a means to conduct honest trade. So as Putin speaks of Russia's liberation from the Rothschilds and the New World Order, and as beef prices continue to climb to new heights in terms of Federal Reserve notes, it's important to think ahead. What will the next financial crisis look like? Will it be driven by political power struggles, by food shortages, by other supply chain disruptions? One thing is certain. In uncertain times, silver remains a pillar of financial security. It is a safe haven investment that many look to in preparation for what may come next. As always, here at TED Speak, we encourage you to stay informed, stay prepared, and consider how assets like silver may play a role in your financial strategy moving forward. Thank you for tuning in. We look forward to hearing your thoughts on today's broadcast. We pay attention to all your comments and respond back to those that people ask questions. We'll be back soon with more insights on the ever-evolving world of economics and precious metals. Stay sharp, stay safe, and as always, keep your eyes on silver. Knowledge is the key that unlocks all doors.
Doge is finding out that the USAID, our own government, funded the movement of 30 million people from foreign nations to the Mexican border. We paid for it. We paid through USAID to the UN, to the IOM, to George Soros funded NGOs, Catholic Charities, Jewish Family Services. We brought 30 million people to America up to the border. And then we turned over all those 30 million people to religious NGOs in America that we funded through DHS and FEMA to the tune of tens of billions of dollars. Our government funded our demise. And now Trump is in this trick box where he's got to somehow create an apparatus to remove 50 million illegal aliens out of our country. And if he doesn't, and he's proven that he cannot do that yet, I'll be the fair critic. He's proven through Tom Homan they can't do it. They haven't figured out the rhythm of it. And I trust that they will. I still have great faith and respect for Tom Homan and Donald Trump. If they don't, Jason, they win. The left wins because this is a demographic shift. And you're beginning to see that in Canada as well. So we have 50 million illegal aliens out of 330, 340 million people in America. 1 in 6 and 1 in 7 residents in America is illegal alien.
Holland's El Salvador visit may violate the Logan Act. I was thinking about the same thing. What is he doing going behind President Trump's back, trying to act as though he's some kind of peacemaker or whatever? That doesn't sound right. And triggers criminal charges. He should have, as well as the fact he should be giving the money back that he used to fly over there in the first place without an appointment. Besides, how is that representing Maryland's interest? Isn't he supposed to be working for us? Isn't he a public servant? Aren't we his constituents? People got this thing upside down, folks. Also, doesn't seem to be any respect for the president. Maybe it's because he declared bankruptcy 4 times. The guy's the wealthiest guy in the world. Sometimes bankruptcy is a good thing to do, especially if you know how you do it. And the U.S. was going bankrupt anyway. What a great way to bring us out. You're going to find out we were really soaring to the top of this whole thing. Watch and find out.
So did Maryland Senator Chris Van Hellen actually break federal law by traveling to El Salvador to try to make contact with Mr. Garcia, a suspected MS-13 gang member who was deported back to his country of origin? Who knows? It looked like Senator Holland may be sharing a jail cell with Mr. Garcia very soon. I don't know, due to him breaking the Logan Act of 1799. Logan Act 18 U.S. Code 953. It states, no U.S. citizen without authority can communicate with the foreign government to influence their decisions and dispute with the United States. I can hear liberals in my comments now. Oh, he just went to go check on the well-being of Mr. Garcia. Really? Is that what he actually went to do? Because it looks to me like he attempted to go to El Salvador, make contact with a prisoner who was deported by the United States of America, and attempt to take that prisoner from his country of origin and bring him back to the United States, in which he was not a citizen in and deported from. Excuse the word salad. I don't know about you, maybe I'm losing my mind, but a U.S. senator does not have the executive authority to do such a thing. That responsibility, I believe, falls under the President of the United States. So just so I can get this in my head, a U.S. Senator flies to El Salvador on a taxpayer's dime, tried to meet with the head of state of that sovereign nation, tried gaining access to a foreign prison, and tried to make contact with a gang member or prisoner that was deported from the United States. I mean, the level of entitlement is just unbelievable. I mean, if only they had that same level of commitment during the last administration, or for the family of victims who were harmed by illegal immigrants and gang members in your very state of Maryland.
FBI Director Kash Patel, the man in charge of the internal finances of the House of Representatives under Nancy Pelosi, stole $120 million in just 4 years. Congressional Union National Treasurer Joseph Alex Barron transferred millions into offshore numbered accounts under false names like Sandy Bate and William Vanderbloom. The silliest we've seen so far is Gary Raper, and someone with that last name wouldn't have changed about 5 minutes after their 18th birthday. A warrant was issued for Barron's arrest. You know what I think? I think you just scrap the whole system.
Proof that God don't like ugly. Letitia James, the same attorney general who's been dragging Trump for paperwork errors, is now being accused of mortgage fraud herself. And this isn't speculation. The story broke on X when Laura Loomer shows that she gave this intel to the Trump team during his trial. That's for another video though. But apparently she has submitted false financial documents related to her own home loan, all while pretending to be the moral authority on real estate fraud. You cannot make this shit up. And how does she respond? Check this out.
Two, until a speaker by the name of Hakeem Jeffries comes to bring us some rest.
Oh, really? Now she's betting on Hakeem Jeffrey. Little does she know, he's also under FEC investigation for misusing campaign donations. So the AG accusing Trump of fraud is now tied to two active fraud scenarios, her own mortgage and the guy she wants to lead the House. If that is not poetic justice, I don't know what is. This entire crew is running out of clean hands to point fingers with. If you love karma, give me a follow. If not, go cry in my comments.
Boom. Putin's chilling warning to Rothschild. Our future generations will be born without Rothschild chains and shackles around the wrist and ankles. In a statement about the news, Mr. Putin said his country is finally free from the icy grip of the Rothschild banking cartel and New World Order. Free from it. Oh, goodness, he's already free from it. That's good news. 2 years previous, President Trump prohibited Jacob Rothschild and his New World Order banking cabal from operating in Russian territory under any circumstances. Well, folks, we're coming to the conclusion of the show, but I had some thoughts that I wanted to share with you this morning, mainly about Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8. That's what this is about. I hope you're ready for a powerful discussion today as we dive into the most pressing issues facing our world. As we gather here, there's a weighty reminder in our hearts of the cyclical nature of life and the profound truths that come from timeless wisdom of Ecclesiastes. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck what is planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. Voltaire, the great French philosopher, once said, paper money eventually returns to its intrinsic value, zero. Are we seeing this today? Less than 3 cents currently is left in the purchasing power once put into the US dollar back in 1913. 3 cents is all that's left. Fiat currencies, especially the US dollar, are quickly losing their purchasing power, and was once considered a stable store of value is now in danger of returning to its intrinsic value, zero. This is why the prices of everything are going up. It's not because the value or the worth of the gas is becoming worth more, or the worth of the beef or whatever else is worth more. No, it's the value of the currency that we're using to buy the beef and to buy the energy is going down. So it takes more and more units of the worthless currency to get the same kind of punch that it used to have, at least way back in 1913. But in the midst of this crisis, there's one constant, one enduring force that stands as a bellwether of real value: silver. Silver remains the standard of durability, fungibility, recognizability, portability, and its undeniable role as a true unit of measure.